Yeah, so first home matches coming up this weekend and next weekend for both teams, women this week, and then both teams next week. So happy to mostly be here for 10 or 12 of the next 14 days and get our first taste of choice in the home crowd for this year. But coming off, it was a good weekend. Unfortunately, ran into a little bit of rain the first day, so didn't get to practice in Hawaii, but made the most of the two matches. Played very well. Both teams played well against a very good D1 Hawaii team on Saturday. Sorry. But yeah, it was good for us to get practice in humidity, practice in heat, practice outdoors, practice with a little wind. That's something that we're going to have to get ready for our spring break trip in Orlando, for some important conference matches that might be on the road outside, and then ultimately for the conference tournament that's supposed to be outside every year. Seems like it has a funny habit of going indoors because of weather or court surface, but I think the plan moving forward is to be outdoors. So good for us to get practice at that, and even the spontaneity of not getting to practice the day before and going straight into match, I think it's good. The more we can kind of throw at them that isn't as predictable is good, because the match is never goes exactly the way you think it would. So yeah, excited for this weekend.
Obviously some newer faces on the women's side this year. Can you just talk about the adjustment maybe than what we've seen in the years past?
Yeah, so obviously not just a lot of turnover, but turnover from the top, which is really the first time that's happened in my, I guess at that point it had been 3 years, but now 4 years. So it's tough when you lose anybody that's a starting player and then bring new players in, but especially losing. Gosh, I don't even want to undersell Naya Cotters, who was only here for 2 years, or her win total would have been way up. But Sapir and Andrea, obviously with 240 combined wins or something like that. It's a lot to replace. I think there was a lot of pressure on the new internal pressure they put on themselves from some of the new players to kind of live up to that. But it's funny, a little bit of what Kyle and I thought would happen, but we started to play this spring season, started to travel, play some road matches, and I feel like the entire team is closer than they were. It wasn't bad in the fall. I think just the pressure and the intensity and the camaraderie of being on the road together, playing a match together, looking on the courts to your right and left and seeing people putting everything on the line. You can almost sense that they're kind of a sigh of relief. Everybody's getting along, and I think there's some trust building. So they're playing better. I think I kind of predicted that might happen. They need to get a couple matches and wins under their belt, but you can kind of see them even relaxing in practice and as they find their identity and their role in the team. But it is new, but that's exciting too.
How would you assess the men's side right now?
Yeah, they're playing well. I'll had probably a match that we'd want back against Hawaii Pacific. They played very well. The conditions probably favored them. We hadn't been out in that kind of weather in a long, long time. I don't want to take anything away from a team that played very well against us. I think it was a good test, and I think we'll be better the next time that we go from Grand Forks to someplace outdoors and kind of what to be ready for. I think more than anything, it was a day where the execution wasn't quite as good as it had, but I don't think the intent was bad. I think the energy was fine. It just was a day where the shots didn't fall at the right moments. And then against Hawaii, that's a very, very good D1 team. We knew they were good. We came out and it was the exact opposite. We were on fire for a while in that match. Doubles didn't go our way, but it was still a good doubles point. And then singles was a nail biter all the way through a 4.5 hour match that came down to number one singles and came down to a couple points at the end. But really proud of how they played that match. I was even trying to find negative things or holes that could have been a little better, and I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a few little things, but pretty happy with that match. And I think it tells me and the players like where we can be if we play to our full potential. I think there's not a team on our schedule we can't compete with. So I think overall it was a positive.